Thank you. No, thank you so much, Mr. Baveja, and welcome to the members of the press and to my colleagues. The Joint Secretary, Mr. Diwakar Mishra, is also with us. So let me give you some broad figures and trends. Then I'll request Diwakar to add to that. I think Chairman Apida is also there. And after that, after Diwakar has supplemented what I say, then we'll be open to questions, and I'll then request Diwakar and Chairman Apida to respond after that. So, agriculture exports have been a huge success story in the recent past, in particular. Overall, of course, our order of magnitude of agricultural exports was quite impressive always, over 35 billion dollars. In fact, close to $40 billion always. But in the COVID year in particular, there's been a huge jump. In a sense, opportunities opened up because our agriculture sector was not affected very significantly by the COVID pandemic, by the lockdowns and various other restrictions that were put in place by its very nature. Agriculture is, by its very nature in rural areas and open areas, and to that extent, it was not impacted as other sectors of the economy. As a result, the opportunities which came during the COVID period, we were able to capitalize well on them. And I'm happy to note that in the year 21-22 also, these gains are being sustained. So just let me give you some broad numbers. If you look at the 3 years, 17-18, ये सब आपको प्रेस नोट में मिल जाएगा. 17-18, 18-19, then 19-20, there was a relatively stable performance at around $38 billion for agricultural exports, including marine exports and plantation products. And then in the year 2021, there was a jump from this level of 38, which had come down, in fact, to 35 in 1920. There was a jump of $41 billion, a jump increase of over 17%. In rupee terms, the increase was almost 23%. And if for products of a purely agricultural nature other than marine products and plantation products, the growth was even higher. It was 28.36% in dollar terms. And the notable success stories were, of course, cereals. Non-basmati rice grew by 136% in 2021. Wheat grew by about over 700%, 774%. Other cereals, millets, maize, etc., grew by 238% in 2021. Other products which did remarkably well were oil meals growing at 90.28%, sugar growing at 41.88%, raw cotton growing at 79.43%, vegetables growing at almost 11%, vegetable oils growing at 254%. And markets which grew substantially were USA, China, Bangladesh, UAE, Vietnam, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Nepal, Iran, Malaysia. Many of them were new markets. For instance, Malaysia and all, we were not exporting much, I think. And the growth in particular for Indonesia was 102% in 21-22. Bangladesh was 95.93%. Nepal was almost 51%. Even, spices, products like ginger, peppers, cinnamon, cardamom, turmeric, saffron, these also grew substantially. Organic products did very well. Organic products in 2021 grew by almost 51%. And, this was all thanks, of course, to the opportunities which COVID offered. It was thanks also to the ability of our agriculture sector to respond. It was also on account of various programs emanating from the agriculture export policy, which came into force in 2018, December, I think, and 2018. That has been implemented in a very decentralized manner across states, across districts, across clusters. There's several success stories coming out of various clusters in the process of implementing the agricultural export policy. Many clusters, districts which were never exporting earlier have started exporting. There's consciousness across districts of the possibilities for agricultural exports. There is facilitation where this consciousness and this awareness can actually be capitalized by providing the necessary linkages of logistics, necessary linkages to the market. And so this facilitation has enabled, this awareness and intention to be capitalized. So let me not say more at this time. Let me request Divakar to add something about these specific interventions that we've undertaken. Let me also say one last thing, that in 21, 22 also, after the success of 2021, in 21, 22 also, the momentum is being sustained. 21, 22 also, I think the growth is almost 43% in the 2 months, April, May. So it's a success story which I think we should sustain. Markets like Middle East and also, they've become institutionalized, our exports into the Middle East. So a lot of these markets, I think, are becoming institutionalized, and these gains will be sustained in the long term. But we have to put in the requisite effort. So Divakar, over to you. And then if briefly Mr. Angamoto wants to add something, you can briefly add to that, and otherwise we'll respond in the questions. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll just take forward, sir, from your point. In fact, in this whole pandemic time, sir, we worked upon to have an analysis of the countries which are having demand, sir. And I'm happy to inform we came to know that certain countries which where we never exported our agriculture produces, we got a market and we have been able to do so, sir. So I'll just name a few, sir. African countries like Timor-Leste, Puerto Rico, Brazil, Papua New Guinea, Zimbabwe, Burundi, Swatini, Myanmar, Nicaragua, and also if we see, sir, Indonesia, Bhutan, Philippines, Cambodia, Myanmar, Yemen Republic, also, sir, certain countries like Sudan, Poland, Bolivia, Colombia, Congo, and Ghana. We have been able to export, sir, rice, wheat, and other cereals. And we have been able to capture these markets. Basically, our achievement is, sir, in terms of Southeast Asian markets like Indonesia, Malaysia, Bhutan, even Thailand. And we have been able to sell rice to China even this time, sir. And this whole effort was, sir, as you rightly pointed out, was initiated in 2015 December through agriculture export policy, wherein first time in history, Department of Commerce reached to the state government, to the district level, to the cluster, to the farmers, and to various agencies, brought exporters to the remote areas of the country, sir, and whatever produces were available there, we tried to export it, sir. And that is how these cluster stories are coming up, sir. For example, if we take for Varanasi, 2 years ago, nobody was able to export agriculture produce from Varanasi, but now from last 1.5 years, there are regular shipments going from Varanasi. Even black rice from Chandoli has got a huge market outside country, sir. Accordingly, Anandpur, Theni, Nagpur, sir, there are so many success stories of clusters. We have, in fact, activated 29 clusters without investing much, sir. We just with our available resources, we have worked upon the whole logistic issues. We have created farmers, producers organizations. We have brought exporters from outside. We have maintained quality. We have given importance to packaging. We have given importance to transportation. And in the press release, sir, we have mentioned that. These details are there, sir, in press release, so I'm not going in detail about this, sir. My only point is that during this pandemic time, Department of Commerce, through various agencies, through the coordination of various ministries and available schemes, like we also contacted Rail Ministry for the Krishi Rail, sir. With civil aviation, we contacted for Krishi Udan Yojana, and accordingly we have been able to show this growth. This is a whole success story where India has emerged a reliable food and agriculture product supplier to the world, sir. And this year also we have been able to maintain this whole growth story. And accordingly, our focus is to provide toward a very good quality food. This time there are demand for health food. So I'm happy to inform, sir. Last year we have reached a mark of $3.3 billion for spices export, and this trend has continued. And this year we are reaching $4 billion for our spices export. There is huge surge in our health foods, sir, millets, quinoa, and other like turmeric, ginger, and other health produces, sir, health products which are known for their therapeutic use, sir. Accordingly, sir, I'll just like to mention one or two more points, and then I'll request APIDA chairman to say a few words, sir. We in Department of Commerce, sir, we try to capture some new products, new markets, and new areas, sir. Like first time, a rice from Kumbh was sent to MM and Ghana, sir. First time, jaggery powder was sent to USA, sir. First time, red rice was from Assam was sent to USA and Iran, sir. First time, from Uttarakhand, we have been able to send some millets to Denmark, sir. Similarly, the Bihar's Sahi lychee has been shipped to UK. Similarly, jackfruit has been sent to London from Assam and Tripura, sir. So we are working, sir, here, and during pandemic time, sir, when last year there was lockdown, we had supported exported, we had supported farmers, and that has shown a result, sir. And we have been able to sustain this agriculture export, sir. Now I would request, sir, APIDA chairman to supplement what I have said in brief, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Just
In
tell us
addition
very
to-
quickly because the press will lose patience otherwise. They'll have questions
Thank-
to ask us. So be very pointed and brief here.
Yes. Sir, thank you, sir. In addition to what Union Commerce Secretary and the Joint Secretary stated, I just add a few points. So, in addition to traditional product and from traditional sourcing points, now we have expanded to non-traditional product and non-traditional sourcing points like northeastern India, landlocked states, primarily, like all the northern belt and island states. And product also, previously, we used to export, a certain range of product. Now we have expanded to various products which are of niche value, especially geographical indication product, GI product. So we are promoting all our GI product in our basket in our India. We have around 130 plus number of GI product. So from Commerce Ministry side, we are promoting all the GI product to entire globe. And almost 30 plus number of GI product we have shipped till now. So we are getting a very good response, like from all the GI product range. And as stated by Commerce Secretary, I would like to add one more point. There is a very good response for our organic product also. Niche organic product from India, there is an extraordinary support. And from non-traditional market also, we are getting an extraordinary support, like African market and the Asian market and the Southeast Asian market and the entire Central Asian market. We are getting good support from Central Asian market also for organic product and for our niche GI product. And in addition to in cereal sector, in addition, traditionally we used to do good supply of basmati. Now non-basmati sector is expanding and millets, and we wanted to do more of millets in the coming years. And we wanted to use this pandemic situation to give us reliable, food and nutritional security in the form of fresh produce, fruits and vegetables, and fresh fruit and vegetable extract, spices extract. These are the things we wanted to export as a food supplement to take care of health and other things. So these are the points, sir. Otherwise, everything is covered in our press release. If any query, we will respond. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Those who want to ask question kindly indicate in the chat or use the raised hand icon. First, I invite Mr. Patnaik to ask the question.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir,
Good afternoon.
I have two questions, sir. Sir, Iran used to be among the biggest buyer of basmati, but now that they are not picking up much from India. So, will this high growth in basmati exports sustain beyond this fiscal? And sir, second question is, the SCIS scheme for 2019-20 and FY21 has not been notified yet. So is it going to be, part of the next foreign trade policy, or we are scrapping it here, sir?
So let me see, our basmati exports are quite diversified. We have other markets also. Iran was not entirely affected. It was partly affected, but I think some exports have happened. So, and the exports are quite diversified. So I'm sure we'll be able to sustain this challenge, which I'm sure is temporary. So I don't see any major threat to basmati exports in the medium to long term. And then these issues will overcome. And the SCS question is unrelated to agriculture. It is not agriculture related, but certainly when we make the new foreign trade policy, what we need to do for services will be taken into account based on stakeholder feedback and other inputs, and appropriate schemes and measures will be there for the services side, certainly new FTP. And so that is all I'll say on that right now. And if Divakar and Angamata want to add on the basmati exports, please do that. So Divakar, you first and then Angamata.
No, sir, not exactly. I think you have covered the point. I think Chairman Epidemic.
Sir, there is no problem in export of basmati, sir, and the market will be, we'll maintain a momentum in the markets. We'll handle it.
Right. So we can go to the next question.
Next question. Next one.
He's given out the press note, ना सबको press note दे दीजिए.
जी, Mukesh Jagota, please go ahead.
Sir, you mentioned of the FTP. What's the status on that in the sense? When can we see the new one?
You see, FTP, the earlier one was extended because we were in very, very disrupted times. There was a lot of disruption because of the COVID pandemic. Things were unsettled, and we were waiting for. We thought that the measures which are in place should continue without, causing further sort of need for adjustment to a new policy, etc. So अभी it stands extended to, I think September end to extended है, basically to enable continuity. And of course, as we go along, then the same policy also changes are made, improvements are made, like to deal with the COVID pandemic. A lot of the compliance dates were extended, a lot of relaxations were given. So in a sense, the ongoing FTP also becomes a new policy as you keep modifying it, improving it, adjusting it from time to time depending on the circumstances. So that has been happening. A lot of facilitation, conveniences, accommodations have been built into this policy itself, and it stands extended to September. And we extensively engage with stakeholders, all the port promotion councils, various exporter bodies, industry bodies. So I'm sure in the early sort of near term, we'll have the new policy in place. But for the moment, it is extended, I think, till September.
Sir, a question has come. Is there any plan to cut import duty on edible oil?
I'm to be honest, I have no information on that. So, as you know, import duties is the subject matter of Department of Revenue, but I'm not, to be honest, aware of this.
Any other question, please?
May I ask one more question on agri export?
For sure.
Sir, China has been stocking up raw materials and even food products for quite a while now. but especially in grains, we don't see much of our exports landing up there. So is the there was a market access issue earlier, but we are given to understand that China will give us access in rice. So, sir, any update on our market access in agri products, particularly in China?
हम्म, नहीं, चाइना में हमारी मार्केट इज मेनली आई थिंक फॉर नो marine products and oil meals plus certain fruits and all too. So let me ask Divakar Nangamuthu to supplement. But over the last 3-4 years, we have succeeded in getting market access to several products in China, and our exports to China have been growing, and we'll continue to pursue. Our mission in China has also done a commendable job in pushing our exports there, and we'll continue to do that. But if Divakar and Nangamuthu wish to add something, please.
Chairman Epita first, then I'll come to you.
Sir, we do have good export access to China for our bovine product, especially sir, the product from animal range. And we do have a good access for our organic as well as fresh fruits and vegetables and plant extract and all. As far as cereal is concerned, sir, China is producer of cereals. They don't expect us to export from India. But of late, what we are hearing, sir, there was some gap in terms of weather and other climatic conditions. So probably we will be getting a good demand for our cereal export also. So in the days to come, we may export, sir, like cereals also, especially rice to China.
Thank you.
Sir, I'll
Any
just
other
like to
questions?
supplement.
Bolo.
Mrs. China has been number 2 in value terms for our agri exports, sir. And we have been able to send them a lot of marine products. And this year we have also sent them rice. Normally, they also take a lot of spices from us, sir. So the surge in our spice export and this the continuation of this marine export and bovine meat, some cereals, sir, and some organic products also they do take for they mainly they take us from us raw material, they process and then they again export it to certain other countries, sir. So our agri export with China has been in good shape, sir, and we there are no issue as such as of now, and no market access issue pending with them, any serious issue at this point of time, sir. So the things are looking very bright and hopeful as of now, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Gaurav Narona.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
Please.
Bolo.
So this is Gaurav Narona from the Economic Times. This is not an agri-related question. I just wanted to ask if there was any update on the TRIPS waiver.
You must have been following in the press now. The parties at the WTO have agreed to do text-based negotiations. So that's a way forward, which means that countries broadly in principle accept the objective behind that waiver proposal, and now to give effect to that objective, they will have text-based negotiations. और उसकी भी I think July end की deadline है that within July they expect to come to an agreed text. So they are very positive developments. So I think the Indian and South African proposal has achieved tremendous mileage and tremendous progression at a very fast pace, and all countries have now come together, agreed basically in principle behind the objective. Now, how that objective will be given effect, to what extent it will be given effect, for what time it will be given effect, all that will happen through the text-based negotiations, and I think they have set a date for. I might be wrong on that. वो check कर लो आप. They have set a date, I think, of July end, July 21st, if I'm not mistaken, by when they hope to come to an agreed text and implement the decision.
Time for one last question. Any? If there is no question, then.
Hello, sir. Sir, may I?
Sure.
Sir, good morning, sir. Samir Dixit this side from Z Business, sir. Sir, apart from this agriculture subject, sir, any comment regarding the road tap rates? Because in last couple of this WebEx meeting, it has been said that very soon it will be finalized and issued. Would you like to say?
बिल्कुल. I reiterate those comments. Your, your, your wait and your anticipation will soon be rewarded. So both it'll certainly be before you. So stand by for it. So my thanks to all of you as always.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
अगले
Mr.
अगले
Mishra.
हफ्ते
Thank
फिर
you.
मिलेंगे एक अलग विषय पे अगले हफ्ते मिलेंगे फिर से. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Bye everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.